Joining us now, Kelly Sadler. She is the Communications Director at America First Policies and America First Action. Kelly, great to have you.
Nice to be on. Thanks for having me, John.
Kelly, the president over on last week outlined a very comprehensive legislative immigration reform plan. And look, we can argue that it should have been this or it should have been that, but I've taken the position, I would have liked to see much stronger e-verify policy. I don't think we need 1.1 million illegal immigrants to come in. I think that number should have been cut back. But look, let's not let the perfect be the enemy of the good. We're never going to get everybody to agree on everything. But the basis of this plan is very sound. And I tell you what, Kelly, I had Mark Warner on my show the other day, senior senator, ranking member, Intel, Virginia. He was on yesterday. And he said he's in favor of merit-based immigration reform that the president outlined. What do you think of that?
I mean, I think that sounds great because we need the Democrats to act. And we need them to come to the table because this is a huge both security and a humanitarian crisis that Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats in the House and in the Senate just seems to be fine to ignore. I mean, we have 100,000 people coming across the border every single month. We're on track to have more than 1 million people enter this country this year. And we just don't have the resources that we need at the border, nor do we have the immigration system that we need at the border to deal with this inflow. You had Jay Johnson I think he was on MSNBC last week saying, this is basically every month the population of Orlando coming in through the borders, and we just don't have the infrastructure in place to deal with this. So I think you're right that this plan that was revealed by the president last week it's a starting point. It's a point like let's all just agree on some things and work from here. Now, in terms of the visa lottery system and this chain migration that is happening, around 70% of the immigrants who come to the United States today are admitted based because of their family relationships or through this visa lottery system, which is completely random. And this is out of step and out of line with what other countries in the world are doing. Take, for example, Canada, our neighbors in Canada. Their immigration system admits 63% of people based on employment and skill, only 24% on family, and then only 13 on humanitarian, diversity, lottery, and other systems. We right now, as a country, only admit 12% of people in this country based on employment and skill. 66% on family, and then another 22% completely random, diversity, lottery, humanitarian issues, and others. So what this plan does is it brings us more in line with the rest of the world. Under this proposal, it'd move America to a more competitive and fair position of 57% employment and skill, which is still below what Canada, admits, 33% based on family, and then 10% based on humanitarian issues.
This is it's an incredible crisis we have at the southern border, and the fact that you have 100,000 immigrants being arrested a month now, that's over 1 million. This is an invasion. The other thing, Kelly, is we don't know how many haven't been arrested. So there's been estimates that say for every person that gets apprehended, 3 or 4 don't get apprehended. So you're looking at multiple millions of people a year flooding the southern border of the United States. Only 30 or 35% of them are actually ever apprehended. The others just disappear into the interior. You've also got the asylum laws that are being abused. And why don't you talk about that? I mean, you get only, what is it, 8% of those that actually go through the asylum process that first claim it actually meet the very lax measures that we have for asylum. I mean, they're not strict, and only 8 to 10% meet them now. What is up with that?
Yeah, I mean, and we're seeing such fraud on the asylum system, like you were saying. We're seeing, these coyotes basically taking children away from their families and pretending to be a family unit to come in to claim asylum. And it's a humanitarian crisis, and it's not just at the border. When they come in through the border, you're seeing a shift in MS-13 members invading. I mean, look what happened in Prince George's County. Right here, you have a sanctuary city where you had 2 MS-13 members that were arrested last year on proposed murder charges. The county government never told ICE, and because of that, now they're being hunted because they're accused of killing a little girl, a 14-year-old girl. So this is sanctuary cities needs to be addressed. The asylum system needs to be addressed. The border wall needs to be built. And the president has put forth multiple solutions and multiple proposals. And what is so frustrating is the Democrats, they're now just admitting that this is a crisis, but they're not offering any solutions, and they're not even willing to come to the table. So I'm heartened by what Mark Warner said on your show, but as of this point, the president can't solve this by himself. There's 115 miles of wall that has been built. The goal is to build 500 miles of wall by the end of the year. The president last week or 2 weeks ago filed for supplemental funding to deal with the influx of migrants coming across the border that hasn't been addressed by Congress. He declared a national emergency. The Pentagon has allocated $1.5 billion, to help this out. But there's only so much he can do at the executive level. And this is a crisis that has been happening, throughout the administrations. It was happening in the Obama administration, the Clinton administration, the Bush administration, and no one's really stepped up to deal with it. This president is. It's just unfortunate that he's not even being met halfway.
You're on the John Fredericks Radio Network, live Washington, D.C., trucking the truth across America. We're with Kelly Sadler. She's a communications director at America First Policies and America First Action with us right now. So, Kelly, let me ask you this. Let's get to where the president goes with this. He outlined his immigration plan. Yes, you've got some Democrats like Mark Warner saying we need to take a look at it. There's some pieces of it we like. But basically, Democratic leadership in the House said it was dead on arrival. They immediately, Pelosi blasted it. So did her entire leadership the day it came out. So you're not going to get movement with the Democrats on this. This is going to be litigated in 2020, right? And that's just the reality of it.
Yeah, no, and you see the president messages on this pretty much every day. And this will be a 2020 campaign issue. There is no doubt. This was a campaign promise that the president ran on in 2016, and motivated the base. And he is, President Trump delivers on his promises, and he is determined to get this through and to push this through. And he's tried so many different angles to solve this problem. But really, in come 2020, you got to vote both up and down the ticket so that Republicans can regain control of the House, and then hopefully we can address this issue. Because right now, what have the Democrats done? They've had the House for more than 100 days. What have they actually done? What are their accomplishments? Nothing. Nothing is passed. We have USMCA, a trade deal that the president, has delivered on. He said he was going to renegotiate NAFTA. He's renegotiated it. It's a wonderful trade deal that benefits, hardworking Americans, especially in the Rust Belt. Going to revive the automotive industry. And what is it doing? It's sitting on her desk. She hasn't brought it to the floor. These should be bipartisan American issues. And we should be looking for solutions to solve these problems. And instead, what they want to do is they want to litigate this Russia hoax. The Mueller reports come out. It's definitive. There's been no collusion, no obstruction. Why are we still talking about it? Let's focus on some solutions to the problems that our country is facing right now.
Well, they're having a meeting in their Democratic caucus right now to talk about this. They're not going to do anything. Look, they think they got elected because they want to impeach the president or the Russian hoax or whatever they're trying to do. They're not going to get anything done, but they're going to pay for it in 2020. You're on the John Fredericks Radio Network. We're with Kelly Sadler. She's Communications Director, America First Policies and America First Action. That is the only sanctioned political action committee and PAC for the reelection of the president and for his America First policy agenda. Kelly, there's a lot of other PACs popping up. Corey Stewart in Virginia started one. The Trump reelection campaign came out, blasted it, called it unconscionable, and the president tweeting about another one the other day or made a statement on it. You're the only official PAC. What's the deal with all these other political action committees popping up, either invoking Trump's name or invoking something about making something great again or keeping it great? What's your official position on this stuff?
Well, I mean, I find it unfortunate, and a lot of these scam PACs are looking to enrich themselves. And what I find is the most kind of horrific part about this is they're asking for small dollar donations. So this is coming, from the elderly, from the people who want to support the president, and all of the branding looks like it's the real deal. They're, as you said, invoking the president's likeness, his verbiage, his campaigns, and they're really conning a lot of kind of the most vulnerable populations into giving, $20, $25 or what and it is unconscionable. I'll echo the campaign, and we are the official PAC and policy group of the President of the United States. And, if you want to give to us, because every dollar that you give to us will be put back into, basically promoting the president and getting him reelected in 2020. We have a small overhead here. We're a small group. We try to keep our costs low so that every dollar we can spend, going into the states, telling the president's message and strategizing on how, on making sure that, the president is reelected again.
Well, very well put. And your political action committee, your PAC is the number one sanction, the only really sanctioned PAC by the president and his reelection committee. So look, a lot of the other ones out there, they are scammers. I mean, you hate to say the word. And Corey Stewart's got one, and I don't even know what it's called, but I've had a lot of people ask me about it, and it's got nothing to do with the president or anything else or his reelection committee, and so he gets scammed by these. There's another one that Ed Rollins has had forever. I don't know how much money he's taken in. There's another one that some other people have in D.C., but these are all, none of these are official. You never know where the money's going, so you're sending it, and you think it's helping the president. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But if you're going to send money, you want to send it to America First Policies and America First Action, because that is, where it's going. Every dollar is accounted for, and it's going to help reelect the president and to get his policy agenda through America First Policy Agenda. That's why it's called America First Policies, right? That's why they have the name for that, Kelly. So, all right, let's finish up here. These subpoenas, we've got now another subpoena for Hope Hicks. We got one for Annie Donaldson, deputy counsel. Where's this end? Does it just go on and on and on? I mean, these are innocent people now that have to spend thousands of dollars on lawyers.
Yeah, and they've been through so much already. I mean, Hope testified, and she for the Mueller report, and she's already cooperated. Don McGahn, how many hours did he spend, talking to the Mueller team? They've already been interviewed. The Mueller report has concluded, and it is now a harassment campaign. These people have left the administration. They're leading their private lives. They participated to the full extent with the Mueller report. That report has come out. It's ended. It's time to move on. These Democrats, if they want to carry, if this is going to be their message, if their message is impeach Trump, good luck on that. I mean, even you see Nancy Pelosi a little hesitant because it is going to be political suicide for them. And I fully support the president in his efforts to kind of slow wall this and say, no, I'm going to exert executive privilege. This is because it's nonsense. It's nonsense at this point. It's time to move on. And as I said before, it's time to move on and focus on the problems that are facing everyday Americans. No one cares about this. No one cares about these subpoenas and in this political sideshow that's going on in Capitol Hill. But they do care about, they do care about their education. They do care about their health care. They do care about, the immigration crisis. And they do care about free, fair, and reciprocal trade and their jobs and their wages increasing and maintaining this great economy. And these are the issues that the Democrats should be focusing on.
John Fredericks Radio Network. I want to thank Kelly Sadler for being with us. Kelly, we're out of time. Always great to have you on. Love your new job at America First Policies. You're doing fabulous. Keep up the good work. And Kelly, former to that, was in charge of all the surrogates that spoke on behalf of White House and the president's policies, and she was one of the best ever that I've ever worked with. A big fan of hers. Thanks for all you do.
Thank you,
Kelly.
John.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate it.
You got it. John Fredericks Radio Network.